fucking milk. Damn it! There was a gag opportunity. Could have done a funny.
Oh god.
I could have done a funny with a glass of milk, but I don't have milk with me, so.
I can't even think on that.
We're talking about Clockwork Orange.
Yeah. So okay, here's a second of our retro review.
Retro reviews. Clockwork Orange is the new black. That's what.
Oh god, let's not mix those, okay? let's not mix Clockwork Orange with anything, in fact.
So
big thing, like here we are. Basically, we're going over movies that Connor has not seen.
We're gonna go over some you haven't seen either. We're gonna get there.
Good, maybe.
It's not all on me. Don't put all the fucking pressure
it's all on
me.
you now. This is your chunk. We'll get to me later. Back after we've done the actual good.
You didn't see
movies.
Birdman, fucking award-winning, fucking Oscar-nominated movie.
Fair enough. My movie watching has been much more.
Have you seen The Revenant?
Classic. No, I haven't watched that either because
Leo got his fucking Oscar for this.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it was because of all the other things, not because of The Revenant.
Did you see Spotlight?
Spotlight?
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it either. It's okay.
Okay. Well, anyways, hello everyone, and welcome to a retro review of Clockwork Orange.
Is it A Clockwork Orange?
A Clockwork Orange.
B Clockwork Orange?
A Clockwork Orange.
B Clockwork Orange? C Clockwork Orange?
Stanley Kubrick's bizarre twisted classic based on the bizarre twisted book.
I mean, that's a lot of Stanley Kubrick movies.
Well, I mean,
you just described like half of his movies.
I'm aware.
The bizarre twisted movie based on the bizarre twisted book. That's also The Shining.
And
another one.
Alright, 2 out of 9 is now the new half.
Is 2001 a book? I don't think so.
It's a short story
bit.
I don't think it's a full novel, not like this. Clockwork Orange, for anyone who don't know, was back in late 60s, early 70s, I think? I think it was that.
The movie or the book?
Movie. The movie. I think it was early 70s. Maybe not. Or no, the movie was in the 80s, the book was before that.
Okay.
It is so... This movie, if you don't know it, is... one of the most bizarre movies I've ever watched.
It is an enormous clusterfuck.
Because
I feel like somebody was like poking my dick with thumbtacks.
Whoa! Jeez.
And I was not comfortable for a lot of it.
Well, I mean, there's nudity in the most bizarre places. There's profanity in ways that you
somebody gets killed with a dick butt.
Yeah, there's literally a dick statuette that someone gets crushed by. It's
fucking weird.
It's bizarre. It's horrible. It makes Singing in the Rain into a rape song. It is quite possibly one of the most disturbing and well known for being disturbing movies of all time.
It's fucked.
Yeah, it's really messed up.
F-U-K-T.
Malcolm McDowell. God, I feel like I messed up his name. Anyway, this is one of the movies that he's most famous for.
He's lead.
He's Alex. And he plays it off for he was in several movies around this area. Then he dropped off the map. Then he kind of resurfaced to play the creepy old guy in a few things when he was the creepy young guy in a few things. So he's got creepy down. He has that horrible stare.
Yeah.
So the base bit of Clockwork Orange is you basically follow a horrid villain through a series of redemption, except it's not. So it follows Alex, which is this basically juvenile delinquent in this pseudo it's like if Andy Warhol and a bunch of modern artists dictated fashion.
But, okay, here's the thing.
In a pseudo dystopian.
I did not realize as we were getting into the movie that this was supposed to be a dystopian future thing.
Well, and
I just this is just a weird take on the 90s. This felt weird. But then you're oh, the movie came out in the 80s. It's supposed to be the future. I'm oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
And they mentioned the whole thing about Earth has been kind of left behind and space travel is a thing.
Well, there's a lot of mentions and references. As far as I know,
it's not all as clear as
the futuristic parts of it are very kind of like subtle and or completely underplayed.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where they don't flat out say anything. It's a lot of it is
the movie
guesswork on my part.
Yeah, the movie never straight up is like, this is a dystopian future movie about blah blah blah.
But it's definitely dystopian. It's just the future part is
the future part is a gray area.
So yeah, it's very much this case where
an alternate universe, if you will.
And the art and culture is so bizarro and modern art that they kind of just go all out on it. But more importantly, like gangs rule the night kind of thing.
But like literally, none of it made sense until you said that to me, and then it was like, oh, now that thing that old guy said about people going to the moon makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought he was just talking about
the moon
the
landing.
actual people going to the moon, and that's Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing.
Which is why actually I thought about that too, until I thought about, it's more like the people went to the moon and that changed things. Like, well...
Right. Because like when you mentioned that, I'm like, okay, now I can get behind the fact that all of society has changed and these gangs are kind of ruling everything.
Yeah, at least that's my thought. And it's quite possible that I'm completely misinterpreting this movie because, like I said, it doesn't come out and say it. Yeah. I've heard a few other odds and ends. I have not actually read the book, so the book might give a little more insight in the whole thing. But the thing is, the book has a dictionary in the back to decipher the book. So I looked at it and I said, no thanks. And I walked away.
Dictionary in the back.
It is a dictionary because as you told, like the movie, the language is super hard to follow. Not just because they're very British, but because they are using hardcore like weird slang. Words. And most of it's made up. Like I believe it was like the
There's
author,
like an entire sentence in the movie that I'm like, what the fuck did you just say?
The author actually basically used that kind of like weird lingo and created his own pseudo language that mixed pieces of like cultural ways of saying things from like all sorts of different places in Europe, like England and Russia, and just from all sorts of different places all over the place, and it's kind of made this weird conglomeration. So it's weird to even listen to. Yeah, it's something you really have to listen to. You have to. Luckily, there is a good amount of context clues to kind of help the story follow along. But there are a few times where you're just like, "Hey, all right."
Yeah.
So anyway, so that let's get on with it. Pros and cons. Start off pros. Connor, since this is your first time viewing it, pros.
I like the weirdness of it. It's so fucking weird.
It is.
I had issues following it at first because I'm like, I don't understand anything that's happening. And like you explained a little bit where you were like, it's dystopian, and I'm like, okay, that makes more sense. And I kind of get it. And then I was like, okay, now I'm on track with this. And then it just becomes a completely different fucking movie. Like, it's... like, I was like, am I still watching A Clockwork Orange? This feels like a different movie. But, like, not in, like, a bad way where I'm like, this is totally weird and wrong, but, like... Yeah, it kind of, like, is a good thing.
It feels almost like this feels like a very adult, very disturbed Looney Tunes cartoon.
This feels like...
At very least, the first, like, hour is all about the gangs and Alex going around causing chaos.
This feels like a movie that no one should like, but that, like, is lovable for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no characters that are likable in this movie. No. And that's actually the selling point of it. Because this is all about Alex basically playing the society and trying to get out of it.
For, like, the first half hour of the movie, I was like, I don't like anybody yet. What the fuck? And then I'm like... As soon as, like, he gets to the prison and they start doing the conversion therapy on him, I'm like, oh...
Now you see this kind of deal. Alex becomes
because
one of those...
conversion therapy is something I actually know some shit about.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely...
I've actually done research on that specifically for like some projects that I've been working on.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like actual commentary on the world. I mean, as many dystopians normally do, like the criminal system.
So like as soon as that happened, and as soon as he's like in the chair with his like eyes open, I'm like, damn it. In like a second, they made me care about this character. It's fucking this character who I have hated the entire fucking movie. I instantly am like, I give a shit now.
He's a despicable madman. But when they put him through the horrible things and make him, especially
I love it for that because it makes him so unlikable. And then he's instantly like, I feel really shitty for him.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh fuck, this dude is being
takes
tortured.
That takes a lot of effort to turn someone as disturbed as Alex.
Because literally, like, half hour in the movie, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna end up liking this because I don't like anybody and I don't know what's happening. And then as soon as that scene happened, I audibly I was like, oh god. I mean, you were here watching.
Yeah, I know.
As soon as it happened, I was like, oh god damn it, no.
Yeah. It's a rough bit because then it goes into a lot of it.
So it like I don't know, it was a weird fucking experience for me because I spent like the first 20 minutes convinced I was not gonna like it, and then like that one thing happens and I'm like I think I love this movie because it elicited that reaction from me of like I hate this person, why do I care, and now I'm like I can't live unless this person makes it out of this okay.
Yeah,
like,
funny enough, like the reason why I actually like Alex a lot as a character, like I despise him as a person, but I love his character mostly because he feels like one of those perfect villains. He's very methodical, but he's also carefree. He's like he's basically as if like a very proper mix of if you took like the scheming and controllingness of Lex Luthor and mixed it with the chaotic, fun-loving craziness of the Joker and actually put them together well, this is what I think
he's a great character. My problem with him in the beginning, which changed obviously by the end, was that I was like, he would be an awesome villain. I'm not sure I like him as the hero of this story. Then, like I said, that one moment happens and I'm like, suddenly I give a shit.
That's the thing, because the whole movie seems to be throwing itself on top of its head. The idea of having the horrible villain as the protagonist works out, but it does take that kind of like, once you see everything like in completion, you get a better idea as to what they were aiming for. Yeah, at the very beginning, you're just like, I just want to punch this guy.
Yeah, and it is because of that I think this is like the weirdest movie I will ever try to fucking critique.
Oh yeah,
because I don't know what the fuck is real. Or like what is good and what is bad, because what I think is bad might actually be a good thing.
Alright, well then, okay.
Like, I don't know, it's fucking weird.
Moving on, like,
I've had like 3 weeks now to think about this, and I still don't know what real life is.
We had to wait on this because he was so stunned after the fact.
Well, also scheduling got weird. But
well, yeah, that's what started with me. We were going to do it right after the movie, and then it's like, his brain.
We were going to do it immediately afterwards, and then I was like, I can't. I need a while. I was like, I need like a couple of days to look at it, to just think about it, because I can't talk about it right now, because I don't know what is real.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then like it gets worse when he gets out and he comes back into like the real world. And he goes back to his family, and his family just rejects it.
They go back through like every part of his life, and every part of the intro.
It's this weird experience where this character that you hate to start with, because it's a long movie. Like, how long is the movie? It's like
almost
2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's like almost 2.5. I think even a little over that.
So like this movie that I spent like an hour, this character that I spent an hour of my life hating and wanting to kill, I'm like, oh no, his family hates him now, oh god! And I'm like, this movie's fucking with my emotions, man.
They hit, and it's perfect because they go through everything again, this time with him trying to be the good citizen and everyone taking advantage of that and or hating him for all the things he'd done in the past.
And it's like,
so his parents hate him now, his friends are now police officers and beat the shit out of him.
Like, it's
the old people, homeless people who beat up, hate him, just like, holy crap.
Like, a movie this long, I would usually be like, there are probably scenes you can shorten or take out, but like, I don't think so with this one.
I mean,
because of all the time they take to set up, not just like this character, but our relationship to the character. Like, I almost don't feel like this is a movie. This is just like a fucking social experiment. Like, this is just a fucking experience. It's like, what just happened to me? I don't understand. It fucks with you, and it's kind of love it for that. It's like,
that's definitely a big thing about it. I guess another pros that I would have to say is, well, okay, I love the music, especially like the effects and stuff are so bizarre, and they feel cartoony for the heavy part. But that opening music, which is Queen I'm blanking on it.
The Beethoven or
No, not the Beethoven. It's Queen. It's the funeral march of Queen Elizabeth or Queen Mary.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Queen Mary. Anyway, so it's this big, but it's kind of like a techno, not a techno remix, but they put it through synthesizer, and it has this much more of this like the electronic like warble to it. That music combined with the opening scene of Alex sitting with Malcolm McDowell's wonderful stare. His eyes glare at the camera for like the first like 5 minutes is hypnotically frightening. Like it is actually something I can imagine that just absolutely unsettling people. Just that look has been known to be kind of messed up, and that's why.
And it all just like plays to making him so despicable.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
You're being shown a murderer and a rapist and like probably the worst human being who has ever lived. But by the end of the movie, you're fucking rooting for him, and you feel really fucking bad for him because all this awful shit happens to him.
Yes, in the
and
face
it's
of
almost like a statement on the criminal justice system and how
definitely.
fucked up it is, and how like even if you get help, people won't fucking treat you the same because you've already done all this stuff, and you will only be judged on the mistakes you've made and nothing of what you've done to try to fix it.
The criminal justice system, redemption in general, just like how you know things live with you, as well as in general, like there's a major cultural divide. Like this is also about like the youth versus the adults kind of feel like.
And like it's weird because I totally didn't think it was gonna be that kind of movie. I didn't think this was gonna be like a statement on the criminal justice system. I thought this was just gonna be a violence fest of people beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
But then like
it is that for these chunks of it.
This it's such a fucking brilliant movie because like in one fucking shot it like completely 180s my opinion of the character.
Yeah.
I just like I don't even know how to like put into words the experience that is this movie.
Well, then this makes this a very short video. Okay, yeah. So in general, like I think that this movie does like Stanley Kubrick does a very good job of letting things sink in and really establishing a very kind of awkward tenseness to scenes. He like what he's famous for. A lot of what he's famous for, besides crazy directing and all that stuff, is that his movies have so many lingering shots.
Yeah,
and they do like so many slow pans and slows. They kind of follow things around. It's almost as if like the camera's not necessarily interesting you. The movie really feels like it's not. It doesn't want to just get you through the story. It wants you to just mosey along through the story, and that allows a lot of scenes to build some very bizarre tension and very bizarre kind of like uncertainty because you're sitting there going like. Is this scene really supposed to be this long? And when you think about it, like, there's really no scene to cut. Like, I do agree that there's no real one scene, like, completely to cut. But Stanley Kubrick's style probably adds an extra hour to this movie.
Yeah,
just because there's so many lingering things.
Yeah,
but
the
the thing is,
think about it, like, lingering shots of just him laying in bed, maybe.
like, this could have been condensed, still kept the same amount of scenes, and probably could have fit into an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't think it would have been impactful.
Yeah.
I think that's why Stanley Kubrick is such a powerful director.
Because like the other thing it does is
makes
like
so much out of something that shouldn't do anything. Silence, just sitting in a room.
A lot of those lingering shots are done like to the sound of Beethoven too.
Well, yeah, and that's
so it's also like a foreshadowing thing of
Yeah.
like his obsession with Beethoven and how that plays in later on.
Yeah, it's a lot of the shots are very much on showing off the iffiness of the song. Like the first opening shot of Alex and his
it's like 5 minutes
in the milk
of
bar,
just zooming in on his face.
But looking at it, like the more you look at it, the more details you see that just don't fit. Their clothes are so bizarre. They wear like these like white leotards and with large cups. Like they have like huge cod pieces for some reason.
That's one of the other things.
The milk bar has all these like porcelain statues of naked women, and to the point where the dispenser of milk is of course women's breasts.
Yeah,
which is like this feels so weird and bizarre.
Wrong.
But like the more he lingers on it,
it does a lot of world building in the set pieces.
Yeah,
like it doesn't tell you anything, but like stuff you're seeing.
Every little detail in the background has.
It does a lot of its storytelling and its world building visually in what is just around in the setting and what the camera is looking at.
Like when you see what
and it's not even
on
like
the wall, you see what things are ruined.
It's not even like the camera's not even focusing on any one thing in particular. We're just seeing a lot of things, and we're getting a sense of what the world is.
Yeah, a lot of
I think some of the like lingering shots help.
Yeah.
In that regard, this is a fucking weird movie, man. Like Jesus.
Yeah, it is. And I think its biggest strength really is that fact that you don't really know what to expect from it.
Because like I've seen a couple of Kubrick's movies, and like The Shining is probably one of my favorite horror movies. And I've watched that thing like countless times, and I swear every time I watch it, I discover something new. It's fucking ridiculous. And I feel like this movie's kind of the same way, with a lot of just like the stuff that's just there that you don't notice. Because like literally there was stuff that like I saw, but I didn't like register until like the day after I saw the movie, and I was like, "Hey, that thing was there. That's neat."
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of like I feel like Kubrick style like requires you to watch movies several times.
Well, yeah, and I think
like, you're gonna miss a lot of stuff.
Which is helpful because he only made like a handful of movies, so it's one of those things. We only have so many movies that we can view of his. So because like. And it shows that's why
and Kubrick is one of those,
so many movies.
He's one of those directors that like as soon as you start watching one of his movies, you know it's a fucking Kubrick movie.
Yeah.
Like it's so distinct. It's like watching a Tarantino film. Like the second it starts, you know who directed it.
Exactly. It's just like but because there's so many details and so much effort's put into it, and they're usually just so grandiose and long. It makes sense of
this
why
is a tricky
there's
one.
So much time between each Kubrick movie.
This is a tricky one to look at objectively because of how much of it is reliant on your emotional change just during that one transition.
Well, not only that, but also does like the style was very much. It felt like it was if bizarro pop culture had taken over the future, but it was bizarro pop culture of the early 80s. So
it's one of those things.
It feels very awkward, but also timeless.
Technically speaking, this movie does a lot of things wrong. Like,
in
terms of stuff that you're taught in like film school, it breaks a lot of fucking rules.
Well, yeah, that's Kubrick.
It works because there's an effect behind what happens. The whole movie is one. It's kind of one thing. I don't know what fucking word I'm looking for. It's all fucking based on the one. What are you doing?
I don't know.
I'm just looking off.
I'm looking for what you're finding. I'm confused. I'm confused. We're all confused.
I can't think of the word. It's all based on one fucking moment where like your entire ideology of everything changes.
Revelation?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the one.
I was thinking of something much different. Okay, fair enough.
It's kind of like the movie makes you have an epiphany.
Yeah.
Where you just realize, oh my god, this horrible person is still a person, and I give a shit about him. And it's like, it's a reaction that like, if you had asked me 20 minutes into the movie, I would have been like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna think this.
Yeah. No.
And
exactly.
It's one shot of him in a chair with his eyes open at a fucking screen, and I know exactly what they're doing, and I'm like, God damn it, you made me have the one reaction that I said I wasn't gonna have. Fuck you. But in the best fucking way, fuck you, you know?
Fuck you, you beautiful, beautiful man.
Yeah. Oh, God. So now that we've talked about all that,
I think it's about as much as we can say as pros, because a lot of it comes down to, like, it's fun to watch, but this is very much an acquired taste anyways.
Yeah.
So
like, if you don't have that gut reaction, it's not going to do anything.
If the moment of the conversion therapy doesn't... before the end of the conversion therapy, if you don't have a like, oh God, Alex, what have they done to you?
Yeah, it's very reliant on the one moment where you realize that you care.
Yeah,
about this murder and rapist. Yeah. Like, it's weird. It's so weird, and it feels way more important than it did while I was watching the movie. But like after the fact, I'm like, I think this movie was like really fucking important in like the world, like Jesus.
Yeah. All right. So let's
cons.
Let's throw out the cons. As I said, I'll just come point out. There's a lot of technical things that. There's a big reason why, despite the fact that Kubrick and Tarantino are one of the biggest names that amateur filmmakers want to like emulate and be about, and they love and talk about all the time.
Please don't do that if you're an amateur filmmaker.
All the people that teach amateur filmmakers is like, for the love of God, don't start with this.
Yeah.
This takes so much effort and work and
the
vision.
thing about Tarantino and Kubrick is that they earned the right to break the rules. They had to learn the rules, except for I think Tarantino just
Tarantino didn't go to school, but he had
learned filmmaking.
Yeah.
You have to be able to know the rules before you can break
Well,
the rules.
I think even more importantly,
the thing they do is they don't just break the rules, they do it for a reason. And if you're if you're not doing it for a reason, then you're just doing it because you want to be like them.
If you don't know why filmmaking tropes work the way they work, then you're not going to know the purpose of breaking them and why you should break them.
They don't ever break the rules for no reason. If they did that, the movies would suck.
They would straight up suck. If it was just like
if they just did it because they were like fuck the law,
it was like for example, Battlefield Earth, because the movie's constantly framed at a tilt. No reason, no actual point to it, no even story thing to it. They just felt like doing it.
The thing with Kubrick and Tarantino is that they do it for some kind of dramatic or narrative purpose.
They do it because, and that's I think a big thing, that not just knowing the rules, but you should also know and understand your personal style. Yeah. And that's a big thing that a lot of filmmakers don't.
They try to
grasp.
Emulate other filmmakers' styles.
Well, I think
finding their own.
Finding your style is not it's not a very simple thing to do.
Right.
Because you have this you do things certain ways, but your style becomes a mix of everything you've learned over the period. So you have to learn everything to kind of figure out, okay, which parts of this really reflect what I like to do with film, and that goes for everything. Every skill set has this kind of deal.
Anything in life, really.
Like if you're doing something any reasonably creative or customizable, you'll have a style to it, and you need to recognize that style.
And particularly in filmmaking, you have to know the rules, but you also need to know why those are the rules. Because once you know the why, you can be like, okay, when and how is an effective way to break this rule to get X effect?
Definitely.
Because if you're just doing it to do it, then it's going to look retarded.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so other cons.
Narration.
Yeah. So
I have a huge pet peeve about narration. Whenever a character starts talking internally, I'm like, shut up. Just show me what's happening.
See, the funny part is, actually, I have. As much as I understand that it is an iffy tool because it allows you to cheat with so many things.
Yeah, it is.
But the thing is why I like narration and why I like it in this movie is actually that first of all, this movie kind of opened me up to the idea of narration because I love Malcolm McDowell as Alex. The way he narrates was so interesting because that's where a lot of his controlling and villainous tendencies go beyond to that.
A lot of his
but it is
methodical way of
it's one of those things that again, this is one of those things where it only works in certain cases if you really pull it off. When in doubt, narration is usually a very bad thing because what it usually does.
Because it's intrinsically an internal thing and it devolves you to the point of telling instead of showing.
Exactly. What it usually does is that you do narration and all it is that it's cutting out the visual part of a movie.
And this movie has so much visual
which is the point of it.
The narration is just, I don't know.
Fair enough.
I agree with you that the way he does narration is effective.
Yeah,
I just like
McDowell's voice.
I also that. But it's one of I just feel like it would have been more effective without it because there are moments in the movie where I just completely shut off the fact that he was internally monologuing.
There's a few that aren't so great. There's also a few that I think are really important. The most important ones I think are the when he is describing his how he's feeling about his friends betraying him in the very beginning, where his droogs kind of rising up and trying to gain control of the gang. When he's talking about that, I think that's one of the most important ones because it shows that he's it shows his cunning. Without the narration, his cunning would still be shown, but it added a bit of like build up to the cunning, if that kind of makes sense. Whereas,
and
like,
I guess in a way it does add to his relatability later on. So
well, yeah,
I see it that way. It's still a pet peeve of mine.
I just it's one of those things.
Narration in movie, like especially when the movie opens with narration, I'm like, ugh.
It's also like the way he talks to the audience is also a big thing. Like he always calls himself your humble narrator, and he also refers to the audience as friends and stuff like that.
I wonder if those lines are taken out of the.
I almost guarantee that's actually how the book is written.
Yeah,
I believe that was a big reason why narration was in there, as well as the fact that that's why it was. I think that's actually word for word from the book.
Yeah,
and they just filmed the rest of it when he was describing it otherwise. Like, I'm pretty sure it's first person book, which makes it all the more weird.
Yeah. I think my only other con is the slang and the words that I'm like, what the fuck did you just say?
I'm still watching it again. That was like the 5th time I've seen this movie, and watching it, there's a few times where I was like, I know that what he's saying generally. I know what's happening in the scene. I couldn't tell you the exact words. I couldn't tell you what exactly was going on. Like, I could not translate this for you. I could translate the gist. I could translate, this is the part where he's threatening them. This is the part where he's talking about fun times.
Yeah.
This is the, so on and so on. Like, I could do that, but I couldn't say, like, I couldn't, like, word for word translate it, because I'm just like, okay. But it works. That's definitely one of those things, it requires your attention. And that's also, I think, an important thing, because the dialogue requires your attention, and the narration is kind of showing you things, you have to pay attention to the movie, which means you're paying attention to the visuals more.
Yeah.
You're staring at the screen more, because you're like, I need to catch all the words.
It's a movie that definitely demands that you watch it.
Yes! Preferably with little wire pincers over your eyes. Not the Ludwig fan!
My only other thing is kind of minor, and I just feel like the ending drags a little bit.
Again,
in the hospital bed, I feel like
they could have wrapped that up sooner.
Could have been wrapped up a little faster.
Funny enough, they probably could have even ended it with him just jumping out the window.
Right? He could have just jumped out and been like,
and left it with ambiguity ending. But I think they wanted to hammer home that government suck up moment.
Right.
So they had that. It does drag. No, I'm with you on that one. Again, it's one of those things where all the scenes technically drag, but most scenes have something you really want to look at. That government scene was so focused on the dialogue, it didn't have anything interesting visually going on besides Alex being a prick and being fed by the...
I will say that was one of the more appealing things of that scene. He just being like...
He was so dramatic with it. I love Alex as a character because he's so over the top. He is why I love over the top characters. He was my introduction.
Yeah, I think that does it for my major cons.
You cover most of the things. Like I said, it's just one of those movies that it's hard to watch, but you need to watch it to really get it. And I also think that if anyone really is into films, they need to watch it. Yeah. It's something you really need to do. And I think overall, like, there's enough fun parts, there's enough drama and enough craziness and stuff that it's certainly not a completely it's not a boring movie by any means. It just has those moments where it'll drag out. It'll every little moment.
I would say
will gain 1,000 moments of screen time.
I would say if you're not familiar with Kubrick's style and it's not something that
this is not the first Kubrick movie you should watch.
Yeah,
definitely not.
I would say start with The Shining,
or maybe 2001. I personally, because I think that has at least more of a Shining is definitely one that's fine. Full Metal Jacket maybe, but not this one. Definitely not. You haven't seen Full Metal. All right. We'll probably be doing more Kubrick movies later. Anyways, so but yeah, this is definitely it's a acquired taste. Not everyone will love this movie. I completely will agree with that. But I think if it's definitely something worth talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's the best thing. Don't watch this movie alone, mostly because you'll probably be just really frightened to exist. But I mean, watch this with other people that like movies. If you love movies, get together with a bunch of your friends.
I feel like this
watch
is one of those movies that like
talk about it. It's just so fun.
It's one of those movies that would drive certain people crazy.
Oh, definitely.
Like certain people would actually like be institutionalized after they watch this movie.
Oh wow.
I don't know what certain people, but like I like. There's got to be like some kind of group of people that would be institutionalized.
Maybe. Okay, so final bits and rate out of 10.
Oh my god, this movie fucked with me. It like at its core, it's a movie about a murderer and rapist that you love, but that you start hating. Like
that's a tagline for you.
Like no, like there have been movies before where there have been characters that like I hate to start with, and then they kind of grow on me. Mm-hmm. This is a movie with a character that makes you hate this character, and then makes you love the character and feel really shitty for the character.
Yeah.
So, on an emotional level, this fucking movie is a roller coaster fucking experience. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Ooh. All right, I'm definitely with you there. I think it's one of those things where some people just will not enjoy this movie. They would personally rate it like 3s and 4s. I can see it.
It's a movie that like if you're not paying close enough attention and like you just don't get it, that it might actually just go over your head. And I'm not saying that to sound like a douchebag.
Well, you know, it's
like it might actually go over some people's heads.
Honestly, the first time I saw this, I was very much just like, well, that was something. Okay, cool.
It's a lot deeper than it appears on the surface level. Because like even like initially, the first 30 seconds when it ended, I was like, okay, and then I was like, oh, it did this thing. Shit, what is my life anymore?
So yeah, I mean, personally for me, it's one of those things like, I would put it as a fluctuating number. For me, I definitely put it as a solid 9. I don't want to go too much higher over that because it does have. It's just so weird to watch that you can't really. I'm not sure it really has a actual critiquing place to it, but definitely easily a 9. Yeah. It could probably rate it higher, like 9.5. I can kind of agree with, but it's one of those things where I could completely understand if someone said I give Clockwork Orange like a 6 or a 3 or a fucking 0. I like, all right. I mean, I can understand, man. You know.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know.
Mostly just because I don't want to be the guy that's like, you just don't get it, man.
Yeah.
Even if they don't, like.
Like I say, if this just goes up, I mean, it just doesn't flow.
Because I would completely understand this movie going over people's heads.
Oh.
This is
not only just going over people's heads, but just going just so out of left field they just don't want to follow.
This is an intrinsically complicated and deep movie. Like,
and an intrinsically bizarre movie that is just like, I'm not sure I want to follow.
Yeah. It's one of the movies, like, if it doesn't, like, I wouldn't say it hooks you immediately, but, like, after the fact it will. Like, the second time you watch it, I think you'll be hooked immediately.
Yeah.
Because, like, the first time you watch it, you're going to be like, what the fuck, for, like, the first hour, half an hour to an hour, you're going to be like, what am I even watching? And then you're going to get it. And then when you watch it the second time, you're going to be like, okay, now I'm into it, now I understand what's going to happen, I'm more ready to see it with a new, fresh mindset.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so that was our discussion, review, contemplation of a Clockwork
I feel
Orange.
like we just reviewed life. It just happened.
No, that's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh god. Would you need this?
Anyway,
so
we'll continue chopping down the list ever so slowly of getting through the retro movies. So these will be sparsed in or between things. Mm-hmm. We'll try and maybe get a more scheduled routine in this because we don't have to focus on movie release dates. We can do these kind of whenever. Mm-hmm. We'll try and keep these a bit more scheduled. We'll see how that goes. Our schedules suck. Yeah. Mostly his schedule sucks.
It's weird. Anyway, so we've got a lot more projects coming out, and we've recently partnered with Eclipse Pop Culture.
Yes, so EclipsePopCulture.com is a website, basically all your entertainment news bits there. I was brought on as a writer.
He writes for
Cooper, who has been in a few videos and is also our social media expert.
Yep.
Thing.
Social media coordinator, Twitter user.
He's our Twitter guy. Yeah,
he's
basically.
Twitter guy.
He says funny things on Twitter for us.
Yep.
So if you follow us on Twitter, that's Cooper, and say hi to him. Anyways, so
it's Cooper and me. I post on there occasionally, but it's mostly Cooper.
Whatever. It's mostly Cooper.
It's like 95% Cooper.
Yeah. So yes, so please follow them. There will be a link in this description for that website. We'll be basically doing more partnership things.
A bunch of our videos are going to start being featured on there.
There'll be videos on them. A lot of my articles, as well as Cooper's articles, and Jake as well is writing for them. So there'll be more articles going through. That the website will keep going as it goes along. So please give them a visit.
Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter. They got all that social media stuff.
Yep, definitely. And as well, like, comment, and subscribe to
this channel.
Yeah.
And like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Love us, please.
And all of that good stuff. We're on all of the social medias, I think.
Yeah.
Unless some new one has happened and I don't know about it yet, which is entirely possible.
Insta Blibner.
The what?
The new one.
The Instablibliner?
Instablibner.
The Ipstablibner. Somebody just made $1 billion off of that idea.
No! I'm ruined.
So that does it for us. We will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Farewell!
Am I the bye-bye guy and you're the farewell guy? Because you said farewell in a lot of videos.
It's just my tag. I do it in real life.
Like,
hey, it's just that's how I talk.
I haven't noticed it until I've been editing the videos, and I'm like, Dan says farewell at the end of a lot of his videos.
Farewell.
I say bye-bye. Like, it's weird. And Jake says fuck you a lot.